Well, I have already removed the tire on my 2012 Subaru Forester, but before anything, you gotta make sure you put it up on the jack, and over here you gotta come in the reservoir and remove the cover of the brake fluid. So when you push the caliper in, it's gonna come up here a little bit. It's gonna come up, level. So you might have to remove some of it later. I mean, after you put the brakes, you test it and everything. You go and check, and if it's too much, you leave it at the level. Over here, it has a bracket. I already removed it. I took a screw over here that I will be using. This one right here. I will be using it. I mean, you gotta remove it from this bracket so it kind of give you more leverage for the caliper to move it, and then you put it over here. You're gonna use it later to get the rotor out. You can use a hammer and hit it from the back, but I'm not gonna reuse the rotor. But even though I'm not gonna reuse it, I'm gonna use the screw to take it out. I put it in the front where I just put it a little bit, and then you're gonna remove the caliper. You take these two screws. I think they are 12 or 14 millimeter. That's gonna take the part that's the actually cylinder that it holds, that it press the pads together, the brake pads together. Take it out. Make sure you don't leave it hanging from the hose or anything like that. Make sure it's secure, and that you could use a bungee cord or like a string to hold it in place so it doesn't fall and hangs from the hose. And then you're gonna remove these other two screws that holds this bracket over here. Yeah, it's 14. This one right here. They are 14 millimeters. They are really tight in there. So I'm using this breaker bar. This is like a old school torque wrench. You know, it was a little small one that my breaker bar. So I'm gonna use that to remove those screws. 14 millimeter again, but make sure car has to be all the way up. I already loosened them out, so I'm taking them out now. 14 millimeter. Uh, Actually, I think I'm mistaken. I think they are 17 millimeter. And you take it out like so. You can, they still have the pads. Normally, the one that has the pin, that's the marking pin. That when it goes too low, it's gonna rub against the rotors. It's gonna make some noise. That's why you hear sometimes like it's making contact. So that means the pad is too low. So it's time to replace it. Most people don't wait till it goes that bad. But I'm gonna use the screw I took from the bracket holding the hose. I'm gonna go a little bit on the left and then a little bit on the right. So you gotta do it gradually so it comes out, doesn't get stuck. So like so, you press. It's a little tough, but it will pull it out. You use the a small ratchet to get it out. It's gonna be dusty. If you want, you can use like brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner, which is the one I use. I think it's a little cheaper. So and I had it laying around, so that's what I use. So what's gonna it's gonna come out over here. Just pull it out. Now we're gonna see, still have some those pads in there, right? They go in there. That's for the emergency brake that you pull from the cabin when you park, or in case of an emergency, though. And you clean it up. You bring the other part. I already did the other side earlier, so this is what I'm doing right now. This side, you bring the parts. I got the OEM parts from Subaru. You open it. You make sure you test fit everything. You compare with the old one. You put it slowly, I mean gently. Here, measure. the back, the front, make sure it has the same distance here and there. And then you remove this rubber plug. It's actually used so you can check the inside pads for the emergency brake. So I put it on again. I'm gonna clean it up with the brake cleaner or the carburetor cleaner, whichever one you want to use. You put it around and then you spray inside and out, then wipe it with the hose. You gotta make sure these two screws are loose enough. If they are not, you pull it out like so, put some grease in it, and then pop it in. Make sure it seals, so no water or dust goes in there. You take the pads out. I'm gonna reuse this in a little bit with this part that I got from Harbor Freight or Freight Harbor. I make that mistake. I think it's Harbor Freight Tools. So it was probably like $4, probably less. I've used it on this car, my Honda Civic, on many cars. Probably you can use it on a motorcycle too. So you're gonna place the old pad over here, like so, and then you're gonna start, spinning slowly. So you compress the caliper. You can clean it up a little bit before you push it in. Since the rubber is all the way out, will be a little easier if you clean it up when it's out. But you start compressing. Now while I do this, I actually use this in engine degreaser, which is really good to remove all that grease. And then you use, well, over here to show you a little bit better how I compress the caliper. You just gotta go slowly, little by little. You can go all the way, gotta go slowly. Make sure the rubber isn't ripped, the one that is covering the caliper, because that is what protects it from getting rust around it, or even debris that are gonna go in there and they're gonna cause problems. Right here, I actually cleaned it up with the engine degreaser, and then I put some grease on it before it went back in there. Right here, you put like grease around it, to make it, to give it some life, I guess. And just compress slowly, keep going slowly. This tool works really great on it. And just go slowly. As I do this, the level on the brake fluid on the reservoir in the front that I removed the cap is going up, because this is pushing that fluid up. So just put grease a little bit there, let it sit over here, make sure it doesn't hang from the hose. This is what I'm gonna use, the carburetor cleaner. This is what I use actually to clean the rotor. You put it in the front, in the back, around it, and then wipe it with that cloth. Okay, over here I already got everything cleaned out. Over here the rotor, and I'm gonna mount it. Make sure it doesn't have any dirt in there. That is very, very clean, so it doesn't do any damage when you mount the thing. I'm gonna match the rotor to the old one, the way it was, and the way I do that is following these marks over here. You see them, this one and this one, and I'm gonna match it. I don't think it really makes a difference if you put it either way, but I like to do it this way. And over here I'm gonna mount the beds, or these plates, for the new pads. The kit I bought from Subaru comes with new ones. However, you could use the old ones too. Clean them up really good, and make sure they don't get stuck. The brake pads don't get stuck. They move freely. They don't have to be really loose, but they have to be able to move freely. And over here I'm gonna use the old ones as a reference. I had them. This is this one right here. I already pre-selected everything before I compare with this one. I know this one goes inside, so this one has this small one first. This kit comes with this, so this one goes on first, the black one, and then this one right here, see, this one right here goes like so, prop, and then over here same thing. This is the one that goes on the outside, goes like this. All right, so I'm gonna mount it to first right there, just pop it in. So these are good to go. Then it comes also with this grease, so it doesn't get stick, the brake pads, where they sit on. Right now I'm just gonna put the inside since it's easier. Usually like right here where the pads are gonna sit, at least this part, right? All right, that's that. And this is this right here. The pads are gonna slide in there. They're not gonna do it like, that's in 40,000 miles. They're gonna travel from where they're gonna sit all the way to the end, so it's a slowly process right there. All right, now I gotta mount this one. So let me show you, that's the way it looks. Yeah, I'm using a GoPro, by the way. That's why I can get so close. It still shows a lot. Alright, going there. Make sure you don't get any grease on the surface of the rotor. Remember, the big screws go over here. Alright, that's the first one. Oh, that was nice, it went in right away. Usually it takes a little bit in order to thread it. Alright, right here, same thing. Normally put some grease between, right here, the two parts on the bracket. Alright, that's one. Bottom one is normally a little harder to put in. You can use your hand or the ratchet. Remember, it's a 14 millimeter. So now we go in with this. Alright, that's enough over here. Now we go on this one. Alright. Then you're gonna use the breaker bar to tighten it up, or the torque wrench if you do have one. I do not have the numbers for this, the torque. Now, it's not supposed to be hanging. This is the ABS sensor right here, the little thing. So this is the way the pad is gonna go. This is the inside pad, right? You see, right here. It's the curve. Gotta match, the rotor. Usually I put the top one first, then I do the bottom one. That was easy, Now gotta put the rest of the grease, this special anti-freeze grease or whatever you want to call it. It's like copper or something like that. Alright, don't get it on the rotor. If you do, just clean it up, no big deal. Alright, just enough. Alright, you can always spin it if you need to clean it. Yeah, I have a little bit over there, like you can see. Let's clean it up. So the pads, use some of that. it. Got a little bit over here. Just clean it up, it's no big deal. Like I said, I usually put the top one in and then the bottoms. I found it to be a little bit easier this way. Alright, now this compresses. The caliper is already in all the way. You know, you can put some grease in there if you want to. That's it. Then just stick it in right there. Hold this one in, put this one in right there. Put the screws. This one over here is spinning, so it's a 17 millimeter. You can use a wrench to hold it in there when you're tightening it up. This one doesn't need to be too tight. Alright, got that in. Right, 17 millimeter. And this one, I don't know if you can see it right there. Hold it, screw it, and this side is 14 millimeter. Not a big deal, that's enough. Since it's too wide, it got compressed between. Comes out right away. I mean, not right away, just gotta fight it a little bit. Same thing over here. I don't think you even have to leave it all, you know, till you tighten it. Once you start going tight, you can let it go and it won't spin anymore, as you can see now. I think this is enough for me. Alright. Yeah, these are your brakes, so make sure everything is nice and tight. Don't overdo it though. You will know. That's it. That's it. Now you gotta do the ones in the back that are holding those have to be tight. Right here. Alright. Just back up with this camera a little bit. Alright. Let me take it out, put it in again, so it gives it a different angle. Alright. Same thing, you can take it out, flip it, spin it, or whatever, spin it. It gets a different angle. So that one didn't work. You just go one right there. Alright. The other one. Alright, it's pretty good. So that's the way it looks now. That's it. You see how it went up slightly? Probably was around here, now it went up almost to the top. Now you're gonna have to remove some and leave it on max, which this is the line. You can use a wrench. I have a turkey baster. I think that's the way it's called. I'll show you right away. This one right here is it's like $4 at the store. That's what I took before. But before you do it, just go in your cabin, start up the car, You can do it now. You can put the wheels, you know, get everything ready. Start the car up. This is the first time I actually replaced the brakes.
Go to vistaprint.com now through July.
You know, 43,000 miles for the front and rear. I did both. Now you're gonna press, you know, just slightly, so the calipers comes out, both of them. Let's go. Now I feel a little tension right there. Doesn't take much. Just do it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You know, yeah, about 5 times. I guess that's good. You know, turn it off. Put back your tires on. Go out for a spin. You know, slowly. Just test everything. Make sure it works. And clean everything up. You're ready to go.